It's time for City Beat, your source for all the latest news on the city of Thompson. Only on 102.9 CHTM, your radio station.
Welcome to City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM. Mayor Tim Johnston is in today with an update on what's happening in the city. If listeners have questions, please call in to 204-677-8181 and we'll get them to the mayor. Tim, I'll let you start it with a brief rundown on what you've been up to since last week's show.
Well, I can tell you it's been a really busy time in Thompson, and I guess it's part of the season. It's Winterfest, so there's lots of activities taking place. A couple of the meetings that I want to highlight in terms of the city is last week on Thursday we had the opportunity to have the commanding officer of the RCMP and the Deputy Minister of Justice in Thompson, and talking a little bit about our challenges, but really also talking about some of the successes that we've had over the last couple of years and the sense of cooperation that we have both with the province and the RCMP. So I was very pleased with that meeting and pleased that they stayed and attended the public safety meeting of the Committee of Council. On the weekend, I provided greetings at the 44th Annual Mun Cup, and I want to again thank all the volunteers and the sponsors. In a city that really is only in its early 50s, to have a tournament that's been here for 44 years is truly amazing. So they do a great job. The rink was alive with activity, and I think all the kids had fun. And congratulations to the PAW. I know our team got right to the end and unfortunately wasn't able to capture the Mun Cup, but they did a great job representing our community. On Tuesday, I enjoyed the Louis Riel Day and the time off, and I hope people had a great time to get out and with family and partake in activities. On Tuesday, I had the opportunity to attend the Project Northern Doorway Blessing that took place in the new facility, and I look forward to that facility opening in the near future. And then last night, I had the opportunity to attend the Thompson Chamber of Commerce Annual General Meeting, and they had a very interesting speaker, the head economist with the Business Development Bank of Canada and he spoke to the group, and very interesting. And what I really took away from that is that sometimes, all too often, we think of ourselves as an isolated or a remote from a geographic point of view. What he was talking about was that the economies of the future will not know necessarily geographic boundaries, and so very interesting to hear some of the stats in terms of the trends that we're seeing in Canada from an economic point of view. So interesting conversation. I want to congratulate President Oswald Saw and all the board members who were re-elected or elected to stand for the coming year, and I look forward to the City of Thompson working cooperatively with the Chamber. In terms of some of the upcoming things, again, it's going to be another very busy weekend here. We're going to start off tomorrow. We've got another Minister of the Province of Manitoba visiting, Minister Bjornsson, on housing, and that's obviously something we've worked hard on over the last few years. So I look forward to his visit and talking about future projects. And then, of course, all kinds of Winterfest activities. Encourage people to get out. Winterfest is drawing to a close at the end of February. But on Friday night, the Aboriginal Arts Centre of Northern Manitoba will be having an event at the Thompson Regional Community Centre. There's going to be an artist showcase and art for purchase, music, and things to encourage people to come down. And then on Saturday is a big day as well. We've got Scenester and the Monster at the Lechterman Theatre for children's show. Encourage people to get their tickets and get down there. And then there'll be family fun time at McCready Campground with campfire, snowmobile rides, all sorts of fun things. I want to thank McCready Campground for hosting that event. It's great to get people out and enjoy the weather. Also, a couple other things that are going to take place this weekend. One is the Relay for Life kickoff will take place on the 22nd, Saturday. It's going to be held at 1 p.m. at the Quality Inn and Suites. This is a great event, and Thompson does just a phenomenal job in terms of getting volunteers out, but also getting people out to participate as teams, encourage people to take that event. And then there's a variety of other activities, so encourage people to check them out and get involved.
That's right. There's no reason to be bored, that's for sure. I was also at the blessing of the Project Northern Doorway facility on Tuesday. So are there any comments that you'd like to make about the facility itself?
Well, I was pleased we had a chance to take a tour of the facility and get a general understanding of what the operation will be like. I was pleased with the renovations. I think it really is, I'd say, a state-of-the-art facility in terms of transitional housing. I think it'll provide, hopefully, the supports that people need to make that change in their lifestyles. We had some people that actually may be in the facility attend, and I think they were pretty excited at the opportunities that are there. So it was an excellent turnout. I appreciate the work that's been done by the Canadian Mental Health and the homeless shelter, as well as the Project Northern Doorway Committee. As I said at the event, we're still going to be challenged. We still have to ensure that just because we built the facility doesn't mean that's enough. We have to concentrate and make sure that we're successful in the operation of the facility. I know that staffing is a bit of an issue right now, and that's causing some delay in getting the facility open. It's ready, and hopefully we'll get the staffing in place, and we'll be able to, again, add another asset to address those issues of addictions and homelessness in our community. And I'm confident that the facility will provide that opportunity. We just have to make sure that as a community we support it, and the groups that are involved operate in a manner that we can ensure that there's success.
Okay. What do you think are some of the challenges maybe with the staffing issue? Because, I mean, the project was approved about 4 months ago, really. Is it not qualified applicants, or is it maybe to do with training? What's happening?
I think it's part of that general sort of challenge that we face in staffing in Thompson overall, and at the end of the day, I think this one is going to be people are gonna, if you're gonna be getting into this type of work, you're gonna have to have a passion for it, and you're gonna have a understanding. I think the training will be there. I think the supports will be there. But again, it's locating people that are out there that are available to work, and I think that's all a part of the challenge. It's interesting. I had it in meetings last week with some business owners, and again, that issue of labor is a huge issue for us. And one of those things that we struggle in terms of growing the community is going to be able to create the workforce to even allow us to grow.
Yeah. Well, for example, I know with us, we have to often look outside of the province, and our new news reporter, if anybody's heard her, has just moved here from Nova Scotia.
That's what I understand. I had a chance to meet her last night at the AGM.
Exactly. And I know that Paulette was mentioning, that there was a bit of an issue with, trying to get the staff, but they're working on it, and she and some of the other project partners are working together to get that, and hopefully within the next month. That's what I understood.
Yeah, I hope so, and I think it's important. I really appreciate the thinking that CMHA, or Canadian Mental Health Association, is doing here in Paulette, and Dan Murphy, the president, in terms of saying, let's make sure we have everything in order before we get going. All too often, I think we challenge ourselves. We're in such a rush that maybe we don't get it to the point that we need it to have in order to be successful. So I appreciate the work that's going into it, and what they're trying to do to get the program up and running.
Okay. And the city sent out a news release yesterday about the 2013 safety audit. So how is the city doing in their safe operations? Well,
this is one that we are extremely proud of as the city of Thompson, and one that I think the community should be very proud of. This is all part of our safe operations program that I want to again thank Valet for providing the template for the program that we have. But we've now had a few years where we're judging ourselves or measuring ourselves in terms of what our objectives are and how our performance is. And we've seen some real improvement year over year. And we do an audit once a year, and we go through a number of different areas in each department, and we rate them, and it's ordered not only just to judge our performance, but to identify those areas that we need to work harder in. And again, we've had a huge improvement. This is very important for a number of reasons. One is it means we're providing a safe environment for our workforce and the community in and around our operations, whether that's public works, whether that's any of our departments, our buildings, whatever. So we're making it safer for people to ensure that when they go to work, they're going to go home to their families in a safe environment. The other one that is huge is, and I think this is one of those ones, we never really anticipated this when we started, this has had a huge financial gain for the city of Thompson. Being safer has saved us money. And the reason for that is that our workers' compensation rate that we pay on an annual basis has dropped dramatically. And I can tell you, when we first started this program, and Valet came and we had the discussions, we were challenged because in our rating group, the city of Thompson was one of the lowest municipalities in Manitoba in terms of the rate we paid. We paid the highest rate of any municipality. We've now been able to drastically bring that rate down by focusing on safe operations. So it's been a huge win in terms of providing a better environment, a safer environment for our workforce and the community, and also having a financial impact for the City of Thompson.
Can you give us actually a figure on how much it's dropped?
Well, my understanding, we were in the mid-3, I think it was 3.40 roughly, and I think we're now under $2. And that's a rate over, I think it's 1,000 or 100 of your payroll. What's really amazing is that we've also, at the same time we've grown our payroll, we've added a number of people, especially adding the second crew in terms of public works, which means now we operate further into the night doing streets and things like that. And amazingly enough, I believe our workers' compensation rate paid now, the total amount is less than what it was when we started, despite the fact we've grown our workforce. That's a huge impact, because that's money we no longer have to tax for, and we don't have to send out of this community. So it's a big win, and I want to thank all our employees, our management for the leadership they've shown, and the community for supporting it. And again, I always remind people, safe operations is the key, and it's just thinking about what we're doing, how we're doing it, and looking at the job that needs to be done.
And it's also a great way for you to recruit people, and you can tell them you're providing a safe workforce.
Absolutely.
And at the City Council meeting on Tuesday, there was mention of the Yale-Newman development. Can you, or a parcel of land rather, can you give our listeners some information about this? It was pretty historical, actually.
Absolutely it is. You know, Thompson is a very unique municipality in Canada. It was created under a mining agreement, or under an agreement to establish a mining community. And it set very clearly what our boundaries were. And since 1956, the municipality has always been challenged in terms of our ability to grow. It was just only a few short years ago that many people said, well, we can't do things because we don't have any land. Thank the current council, previous council, we became very creative in terms of how to use existing land and renew it and things like that. But most importantly, through the Thompson Economic Diversification Working Group, one of the things identified was a need to add land. And one of the key things out of the 56 agreement is that Valet has to be in agreement with that and on site. And I want to thank Valet because they've made the lands available and have agreed to transfer those lands. So the Yale-Newman subdivision is an 88-acre parcel, I believe, immediately to the northeast of Yale and Nelson Road. So if you head out Nelson Road towards the sewage treatment plant, it will be the area on the north side of the transmission line. And this is huge because I think this provides the opportunity both for residential development and commercial development. It's the first parcel that's been transferred. 2 other parcels have been agreed upon, but they haven't been through the government process of transferring. And those will be some land in and around the train station. Many people probably don't understand this, but when you're heading to the train station, you actually leave the City of Thompson, go through the LGD, and then rejoin the City of Thompson. So we're going to add a little bit of land out there for industrial. And then in addition, we've got the area that between the water treatment plant and the Burntwood River, there's a corridor where there's the transmission lines as well as the water lines, and Valet has agreed to make half of that area available. So they've done that as a gift in kind through the Thompson Economic Diversification Working Group process, and I really appreciate that because that gives us the land, and we now will be able to go and develop it. So it's huge for Thompson, and I think the biggest one was actually getting through the process of transferring land finally, and it's taken a number of years, and but it really does provide, for me, I believe, the opportunity in the future to grow this community.
Well, there's been lots of talk about it. I know lots of people have wanted to, like, let's go across the bridge and let's go lots of different directions. And it's nice to know that, you know, there is now this opportunity for, you know, new businesses to come in and for the local ones to grow and, you know, take up a little bit more space out there. That's great. Well, it looks like we're out of time for this week's show, Tim, so I'll just let you do a quick recap of info that you'd like to share with the listeners. Sure.
Well, just a couple of quick things. Again, I encourage people to get out, enjoy the weather. It's warmed up a little bit, and there's so many things to take in over the weekend, and I encourage people to get out with families, do that. A couple of things I want to remind people of, though. One is that February is Heart and Stroke Month, and encourage people to support. It's a great cause, and I know we have some phenomenal volunteers in this community that are out working on behalf of Heart and Stroke. And the other one is I did have the opportunity to declare a proclamation that February 23rd, 2014 as International Rotary Day. And I want to thank the Rotary Club here in Thompson for the work that they've done for many, many years. And then again, as always, I want to remind people that we had a little bit of snow at the end of the weekend. Our crews are out on the streets. We started on Tuesday with Priority 1. We're just about done that. We're into Priority 2 areas. And so watch out for equipment. We'll be out on the streets.
Okay. Well, tune in next Thursday at 11:30 for City Beat here on 102.9 CHTM. I'm Sue O'Brien.
City Beat will be back next Thursday morning.